Hey everybody, my name is Rydo, and today we are looking at Zatwor. Let's come over here and just turn off the audio for a second here. Maybe turn it down to just something low. And then have to hit escape even though there's no back button or indication escape will even work. So, I've covered just shy of 30 games for November that I got for free. Not because I was a video game critic or anything like that. They were just free on Steam or the Humble Store or something. Somebody tweeted out a code. Things I got for free, but I wasn't really invested in. And one of those games that I covered was a game called Absconding Zatwor. Z-A-T-W-R. Now you can maybe notice that's the same word here. And if you can remember back, it looked exactly like this game. Well, the truth is, this is one of 173 games that, as of this recording a few weeks ago, were kicked off of Steam for being fake games. They were only designed, at least in the opinion of Steam, to be sold cheaply for trading cards and achievements. Some kind of money laundering scheme perhaps is built around it, who knows. And Steam kicked the entire creator off. I believe he was probably violating the rules of the new Steam Direct idea, because he was not paying the $100 Steam Direct fee for every single game. Instead, he was releasing several games in a time. And the creators of the game were basically just flooding the market with very low quality product. Whether he was actually doing anything wrong or not, it's simply the first step we've ever seen of Valve actually curating what they have available for Steam. Now, I started this video saying how I've covered nearly 28 games that I got for free. Sadly, at least according to my records, I actually paid for this one. And that is the most infuriating part of all. Is I probably, in the most recent Steam sale, Steam summer sale, Steam fall sale, probably filled out my shopping cart with some cheap 50-cent games, and this was just one of them. More than likely that's what happened. Let's actually try and play this game though. Let's give it a chance and just see if maybe Absconding Zatwor was the bad version of this, and they actually fixed things. Now, last time we played it was, I think, with keyboard only, or maybe not. So we've got mouse control. Pretty much this is the exact same game. The only difference is, instead of the story being built around the idea of breaking out of a prison, which makes sense, this time we are breaking into a prison. And we've got music playing, and the controls are not good. And the music changes every time, and it is super tight. Let's see. And this would be WASD on the keyboard. No, it's not WASD. I can't control it. I cannot. Like, main menu. If you want to use the keyboard, you've got to come all the way back here. Let's try this again. What? What? So, A is counterclockwise. D is clockwise. S is backwards. And are you joking? Game? Like, no effort at all. It's like somebody who didn't even know how to program a game. Somebody who had never even in their life played a video game was just throwing out random ideas. Like, in no way does the system make any sense. And it almost feels realistic to maybe if this was a game built around incredibly tight controls, it almost makes sense. But that's not the case here. That is not the case at all. This isn't a tightly controlled Dark Souls version of a game. It's just absconding Zatwor under a different name with the background animation slightly different. And the second you even touch one of these green cameras, like, you don't even really have to touch them. You just have to get close to them. It's over. Of course, you could always throw any number of accusations without any proof here that these assets are stolen, the music's stolen, or maybe more likely these are freeware songs, open source songs. That would explain why there's no real thematic consistency in the music. In fact, I pretty much recognize this as freeware music. But regardless of those things that can't be proven and don't really even need to be brought up, the quality of the work here is awful. Sadly, I kind of thought Fake Games would have been even worse than this, because frankly there's a lot of RPG Maker games that aren't too far from this. There's a lot of joke games on Steam that aren't too far from this. Interesting, my shoulder was on the edge there and it didn't set off the alarm. It's as if the game is getting easier. Like, you can't do it. You literally can't beat the first level. And I think this is probably what got this developer that published games under different names and flooded the market in a short amount of time. The fact that the games are difficult and you can't get to even like the second or third level is the problem. This probably caused a ridiculous amount of refunds. And in all honesty, even in my instance where I'm making a video about it, this would be as close to being justified to getting a refund as I would ever probably be. Since I'm getting some tiny pennies of ad revenue for covering the game, I generally don't return games, even if they are bad, even if I don't like them, even if I don't play them for that automatic refund of 2 hours. But in this instance, when the game is clearly laughably bad, hey, I made it. For the game to only get more difficult. Wow, I even made it through a level. And it's the exact same thing again. They're going to introduce the motion detectors that send out the circles, and you have to stop when the motion detectors are activated. Honestly, if they had just released one of these games instead of two by the exact same, or the almost the exact same name, and even if I'm not moving, the green one will see me, they probably wouldn't have been so quickly put to the top of Steam's list. And there's that, oh, you got caught by the sound effect that is, I think, clearly a Metal Gear Solid reference or stolen from it. I don't know if that short of a note could actually be fairly copyrighted, but yeah, nothing really connects here. The story is even missing this time. There was a stupid intro story in Absconding Zatwor. Here, they don't even bother to write that. So, either they got more ambitious in creating these games to put a story, or they got less ambitious to take out a story. So, you can't walk to the sound effect sensor, the sound sensor, so you have to actually go up here and then around to probably right about there without hitting it. And I know I'm not playing perfectly great here. Maybe with some tighter controls you could do something like this, but boy, why would you? It's got everything wrong with it as Absconding Zatwor did. It's the exact same game. These guys will, again, at some point enter. Maybe I went backwards here. Maybe you were the original version of the game was Breaking the Zatwor, and the sequel was Absconding Zatwor. But it's the exact same game. It's the exact same layout. Seems, at least even on this intro screen, like there's no new features. It's just cameras, guards, and sound effects. I suspect there's probably less than 20 levels in the whole game. And there's really nothing here. Nothing as far as settings. Nothing as far as anything else. So, yeah, this game is garbage, and I am upset with myself that I bought it. I'm not particularly upset with the games I got for free. Of the 28 games I've played, now 29 that I got for free, 3, maybe 4 of them were good. The Samaritan Paradox was a decent enough game, even though it kind of ended. It was worth playing for free. Dirt Showdown, very much worth it for to be played for free. There was one game that I said I was going to play and I never came back around to play it, so maybe at some point I will. It was, you played as a robot that got parts for his body, and it had a Smash Brothers element to it. It was a little boring, and that's why I never decided to come back to it. I'm kind of happy I own Omicron and Nomad Soul, even though it's way too old a game to actually play. But the vast majority of the games that I've covered for November were not worth my time, even at free. And that's a very important concept that people have to learn, or hopefully learn, as they become adults and they're no longer just forced to go to a school and spend all of their time at school, which schools are just basically babysitting and they waste your time like crazy. As an adult, when you start to realize you're not going to live forever, that you only have so many hours and days or years left on the planet, your time becomes more and more valuable. And even if somebody gives you something for free, that doesn't mean it's really worth playing. If I'd gotten this game for free, maybe I did, but I don't think so. I think I accidentally paid for it. It's not worth my time to play. It's not even worth my time to play for another 15 minutes. Usually these episodes are 30 minutes long. So, I don't like to use the phrase, you get what you pay for. Because so often nowadays you'll buy a $60 game and then still it will be not worth your time or money. But when you get something for free, that is a major testament to be cautious as you try it out and see if it's worth your time. That's it for this little mini series that we've been doing this month. We'll be back to a new style of streaming for December. We're gonna be a little fewer different games, but games will try to last as long as possible. We'll go back to beginning and end, but I don't think there will be anything at 7 o'clock Central or 3 o'clock Central, or was it 2 o'clock Central? As my live streaming of Hearthstone is now consistently going to be done, at least for the foreseeable future, on Monday, Wednesday, and Friday, and with more time being spent on that, there's less time to do pre-recorded footage. That's it for this video. As always, I ask you to like, share, subscribe, comment, and watch every second of my videos. If you want a friend or follow me on basically any social media sites, there's a whole bunch of links down below. Thank you for watching. Have a good evening.